Hi guys, it's Ray and I have another book haul. I know it's pretty much all I kind of do now on here, at least because I haven't got much else that I can think of doing. There are other things I can do. I keep thinking about doing like videos on my sort of writing progress, but that's going to be a long one and it's probably gonna end up a blog post because that's a bit of a crazy subject. But anyway, I've got a collection of books to show you. So yeah, let's do this. The first two I'm going to show you, I bought from WH Smith's last week or so. I went in kind of like, I'm looking for some books for my reading list, but if I find something else, I'm gonna buy it. And that's kind of how that ended up in my possession. And this is First Class Murder by Robin Stevens. This is the third book in the sort of Wells and Wong series, which starts with Murder Most Unladylike and Arsenic for Tea, which are sort of middle grade sort of murder mystery stories, and they are amazing. And as you might be able to guess from this one is going to be like set on a train, so we're going all Orient Express, and it's amazing. I just love the cover design. And just how bright it is as well. It was going to be red and then it sort of went to orange. So I just the colours are so amazing, and also the books are amazing. And I need to get around to reading this because it came out like a few weeks ago now, and Jess has already read it, and I'm sure she's going to be like, why haven't you read it? What is wrong with you? It's like 300 something pages, Rachel. Duh. Get on with it. So yes, this is good. Well, since I finished my reread of The Final Empire last night, I should probably read this next. That should be a thing I do. The second book I got from Smith's is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, because I need this is my reading list. This is not the edition that they wanted you to get. They wanted like the Oxford World Classic ones, but I'm sorry, the very limited section of like 8 shelves of classics at Smith's did not sort of give me the choice that I really wanted. I mean, this was only $5.99, so that's okay. And it has Treasure Island. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be enormous differences in the text between between the Penguin Classics and the Oxford World Classics. I really hope not. It's just that I'm pretty sure Oxford World Classics tend to do more of a sort of like linked thing with the OU, so that's probably why they have their editions on there instead, but I got this one, so deal. And the other 2 books I bought, like on the same day I bought those, when I went wandering around, basically, went down. Just like, I'm searching every charity shop to hope I can find at least some of the reading list books in charity shops, so I don't have to go around and I order loads and stuff. And one that isn't from my reading list, but I bought because it's in like perfect nick and I kind of feel like I should read it, is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Females were sort of starting all of your favourite genres. Yeah, Mary Shelley being like the first like sci-fi kind of horror genre story, so yeah, that's the thing. That was only like $1.49 and it's like in perfect nick. And because this is based on the third edition of 1831, this volume contains all the revisions Mary Shelley made to her story, as well as her 1831 introduction and Percy Shelley's preface to the first edition. And it includes select collation of the texts of 1818 and 1831 together with a fragment by Lord Byron. Because I know that I've heard that sort of Mary Shelley's books, some people don't like them much, mostly because of like certain bits where Percy Shelley got his hands on the manuscript and started meddling. And because Percy Shelley was a poet, he went and overflowered it, as it were. But I shall be very interested in reading this at some point. God knows where it's going to be. It probably might end up just getting sort of moved up to my classic shelf at the top of that enormous cupboard you can see there. And it might stay there for a bit. Who knows? The other book that I found in charity shop, which is in slightly worse nick, but it was like 50p, so whatever, is Aquos Boy by Jamila Gavin. And this is one for my my uni reading list, which is, I'm doing a module on children's literature, which is like, I'm pretty much geared towards that. That's a thing. Ooh, this actually, I hadn't actually read the blurb yet, and I'm now intrigued. Basically, it says, a tale of two cities, Gloucester and London, a tale of two boys, Toby saved from an African slave ship, Aaron, the illegitimate son of the heir of a great estate. A tale of fathers and sons, Otis dealing with the vilest trade of all, and his son Meshach, not quite of this world, Sir William Ashbrook, landowner, Alexander, the son he disinherits, an epic journey fraught with every danger and excitement, a love triumph over hatred and corruption. I am now really intrigued. I've never read this book. I mean, I've heard of the author Jamila Gavin. I don't know if I at some point owned a book by her, but this is from, I can't remember. It's from from 2000. But yeah, this is like historical, and I'm pretty sure it probably has. Whether it has won awards in its time, I'm not sure. This edition doesn't tell me, but yeah, I'm really intrigued actually now to read this way. I was like, I think this is probably this is one of the books. There's a couple of modules where it's like looking at sort of 20th century like children's fiction and also like more modern stuff. So at some point, if I get to go full on, I'm going to spend an essay talking about young adult literature. I'm going to do that, but yeah. I'm now really intrigued to read this actually. I'm really excited. And because it's like only 50p, I could if I need to, I can probably like make my notes in with pencil and stuff. Although it's a struggle to kind of get myself to deal with that, to do that. But yes, rude buses make an odd noise. The next 5 books I bought from Waterstones on Saturday. Yes, Saturday. Obviously, it's like I'm like my parents are going to be in Nottingham doing stuff for my sister's flat, so I'll pre-order these from the Nottingham Waterstones, since it's like 5-10 minutes from my sister's flat. So I was like, we'll just go and sort that out. And look, they had like 4 of the books on my reading list, and I found another that is going to be for my reading list when I got there. So that was excellent. And although I click and collected them, so I was like, luckily they're all on, all of those bloody books would have been on one floor, so whoever had to go fetch them didn't have to go running around like 5 different floors, because that would have been really rude of me. Tea. Right, I shall show you the first one, which is a picture book, which is very something I basically never bought, and it's Voices in the Park by Anthony Brown, and there is a whole module that's going to be like sort of like pictures, like picture books, and whether poetry is in that one I don't know, but and it won the Kurt Maschler Award in 1998. I know nothing about it. It's very pretty, and it appears to have monkeys in it, from what I've seen. So I don't know what that's going to end up being like. I don't know whether if there's like other picture books that I need to look at, or if they'll have like samples of them in like the textbook material stuff they send me. I don't know. So that'll be interesting. Another book that I have for my reading list is The Other Side of Truth by Beverly Naidoo, and I've literally never heard of this in my life until I sort of looked at it, and I was like, wow. I really like the sort of the aesthetics of just, it's a very plain white cover, but like the tagline on here says, "A liar's 7 winding paths, truth one straight road," and it's a Carnegie Medal winner, so one of the Carnegie Medal in 2000 and the Nestle Smarties Silver Award in 2000, and I think it involves sort of refugees and sort of, I think children of a journalist get who's, and their I think either their father or their mother gets killed, who's like a famous journalist, and they have to sort of flee their country. So it's sort of dealing with, I think, what their life's like when they get to England. So it's a subject matter I've not read much about, and it should make for sort of a lot of quite thought-provoking and provoking a lot of discussion and stuff that I can write for an essay. I'm looking forward to that at some point. The next one is Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor, which is, I I'm pretty sure it's from an American author. Yeah, it's an American author, and this is set in like the 1930s, and so obviously there's 1930s, a very different kind of cultural climate at the time. So it's sort of having that in a children's book to kind of as a filter to see things through for that time is good. That was a sentence that probably didn't make a lot of sense, but yes, I have this to read, and I'm not sure which one of the modules it's going to be, whether it's going to be one of the early ones, because there's some modules, some of the like the kind of essay sections are on like the value of children's fiction and like to sort of instruct and inform, I think, something like that. But then there's one about it's looking about kind of like books for boys and books for girls, whether that's like the kind of 19th century fiction that provides morals for children. Who knows? The next one, this was definitely for like the 20th century, and that is Junk by Melvin Burgess. I've never read this. It's kind of weird. When I was sort of younger and when this probably came out, I was not really reading kind of like the sort of like teenage fiction that there was at the time. So like sort of I didn't read sort of Sarah Dessen at that time. I didn't read sort of Sarah Manning. I didn't read Melvin Burgess or anything like that. Because I mean, yeah, originally 1996. So at that point I was 6. So by the time I would have got to a point of being wanting to read this, it's probably been out for a while. And this one, the Carnegie Medal as well. So, as the sort of cover might suggest, it involves drug use and looking at that, at teenagers, and so this is definitely more to the upper end of like the children's fiction section of what my module will cover. But I'm intrigued to read it. It's kind of one of those things you've known about it for years, and you just never read it. It's very odd. The last book I got was Good Wives by Louise May Alcott. Basically, my reading list calls for have a copy of Little Women. I do have a copy of Little Women, but it says it needs to be an edition that their edition they have is like the Oxford World Classics one, which has Good Wives in it. But trying to get that a little difficult, because this copy doesn't have it in. Ooh, it has a whole kind of little dictionary thing at the back. I didn't know. That's cool. Basic classic literature, words and phrases. So I'm assuming most of these strange words are used in the book. Yeah. So this has Little Women, but I could have got a really pretty edition of Little Women, and Good Wives that would have cost about the same as just a single edition of Good Wives, which is a very nice edition, and it was like the same price. And I like how it's got these little flap things. So I thought, sod it, I may as well just get a copy of Good Wives, and then I'm gonna have to reference 2 books for like when I get to writing about this, but I just love how dinky this is. It's so cute. I just saw the most hilarious phrase there, but I just saw like ninny, hinny, whatever. Okay, but yes, that is now. I've now pretty much got all of my reading list books. There's one. It has like Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve on there. It's like kind of. It's sort of like there's certain ones that for different modules like you can choose one of these and stuff. And I think on those like Harry Potter and Northern Lights are on there. So it's like I've already got pretty much every other one. So it's probably not necessary to get that. And if I do it, I can always just borrow it from the library. Although I feel like I probably should have read Mortal Engines at some point in my life. It feels like something I should have done. So yeah, and there's like a poetry one, but I didn't want to spend all that money, and I don't read that much poetry, so I might have to see if I can get it from a library somewhere. Who knows? Right, but yeah, now, look at all I now have, these are all of my reading list books that I have. There's quite a few. I mean, look, I don't have to have all of these read, I think, before the module starts, but there's some that I probably should read. I'm imagining these top 3 I should read, and whichever, like perhaps Treasure Island and maybe the Mildred D. Taylor one. But yeah, these are all my reading list books that I've got to read and write essays on for the next year. That's going to be fun. I've not done like proper like English literature stuff since GCSE, and that's nearly 10 years ago. It's a long ass time, and I didn't like English literature at the time because I didn't like having to like nitpick apart like Shakespeare and Great Expectations and all that lot. But since it's like children's fiction, and I kind of already want to talk about children's fiction, I think that's gonna be okay, hopefully. Maybe. So yes, that is my book haul. Those are books that I have acquired, and there will be some. I'm gonna have to be a good person and not buy anything for like the next sort of 2 weeks. But it's 2 weeks today until Queen of Shadows comes out, so that's like that's what I'll be buying on the 1st of September. Make no mistake, I will be running into the nearest Waterstones and going, give me Queen of Shadows now. And because I have like loads of Waterstones points, I could probably buy it free. Or maybe I'll save them and get something, like, get loads of things. Who knows? Oh. But yes, I shall see you soon. And I might do some blog posty things. Who knows? I need to do some writing. That's probably what I need to do the blog post about how things are going with that, because I've spent a lot of time discussing it with people over the last few days, and I feel like I need to discuss it further. Yes. But I'm going to go. I hope you have a nice Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's really strange because I was at work all yesterday. It's a ridiculous amount of work I can get done at work, and then it's at home. I'm like, work, what is this thing? Strange. But yes, I'm going to go, and I hope you have a nice day, and I'm sorry that this video is so long, but I hope you enjoyed, and how many of these books should I take on my holiday, do you think? I'm away for like 2.5 weeks. I could probably get through them all, but I don't have the suitcase space, and I'm going to have other things to read as well, and I might have like a whole manuscript to take with me as well. Anyway, stop rambling, Rachel. Go away. I'm saying that to me, not you. Do stay. There's lots of other videos here to watch. Bye!